Wali Alandia, America come for Alexander. Boy, come for Yvonne Gay. Yebe for la way, be what I way. Yebe come on that way, be what I way. Good work from Bangway, and Alandia. Good work from Bangway, and Alandia. Come for Steven. Boy, where Mariana come for. Asaban come for Richard Jamfa, Bondrin Komagi. The man will be like way, be what I way. You want to like be what I way. Good work from Bombay, and don't allow ye. Good work from Bombay, and don't allow ye. Way. In the Tomato, Bondrin Komagi, bring on Bombam. In Tredden Tomato, Vincent. Bondrin Komagi, Mama Pamela bring on Bombam. Before that way, be what I way, be what I way, good work from Bombay. Come on, that way, be what I way, be what I way, good work from Bombay. But you want that way, be what I way, be what I way, good work from Bombay. Good work from Bombay, don't allow me. Indeed, come the bong Dennis. Bondrin Komagi, work from Bang. Avenger, boat and drink going Baragway. Avenger, boat and drink going Baragway. Aladia.
Yes, good morning, dear viewers of Gaza Media. Happy weekend. You are welcome to this segment, The Voice. And in today's program, we will be looking at the bishop visit to Fontem, that is the Minji parish and the Azzi parish, and other activities that the bishop is carrying on in the BLM in general. We'll also be discussing some of the message that the Fund of Fontem has sent out since yesterday and today again at St. Clair Church. But before then, I have an announcement that I would like to make before I bring in our panelists. As many people already know about the passing on of Nkengayi Comfort, who died while crossing the road that was crushed by a vehicle. And according to the funeral will be on Friday, the 13th of this month, that is next week. And according to that report, the initial or the preliminary report by the Cobb County Police, Comfort Nkengayi from Lentia Spring was in a crosswalk, but do not walk signal was on. A driver, 54 years old female, tried to avoid her but couldn't stop. This is what the police report was saying, that the impact sent Nkengayi into northbound lane where two other cars hit her, the police said in that report. What they are saying is that this young lady from LBLM was crossing on the pedestrian, that the stop sign was on for pedestrian, but she was walking. But we have also gotten information that that is not true, or a story that is contradicting to what the police, this initial police report said, because the family are now saying some bystanders or bylookers have confirmed that that she was that first of all there was no other second car that hit her. That even though she was crossing, she had the right of way to cross. But this is a developing story. We will be digging into that story. We'll be investigating that story, and we'll bring some update to you as well. Let me bring in CEO Emeritus, Mr. Atem Terence, so that we can begin to discuss some of these things. Mr. Terence, good morning and welcome to Gaza Media.
Yeah, good morning, Dr. Kumber.
Yes, yes, I know. Just to highlight the passing of this young lady who already had a bachelor degree in Cameroon, came here 2 months ago, and was very motivated, I mean, has a brighter future, already obtained her CNA and was on the clinical, according to the story. I mean, with a green card that people are struggling, her life is cut short.
It's I mean, it's really heartbreaking. And to have a young girl, Nkeng, as we fondly call her, as we call her, full of energy, full of hope, with a great future, ambition, get the golden green card document, immigration papers to come to the United States, to just come and in less than 2 months be killed like that. Um, Dr. Kumba, you know, the green card is a very rare, it's a lottery that how many people, I mean, millions of people play and very few win.
Yeah.
And to have that opportunity and come to this great country, she had her eyes set, on a great future. And just you can look at her track record once she got here. Now, just before I continue, Nkeng's elder brother, Dr. Patrick Fongay, um, since he immigrated to the United States, lived with us and has been with us for forever. So it's like a son to us. He's actually also the godfather to my kids. So we have a relationship, me and I and its elder brother, that of kind of father and son. And in September, while we had the Citizen convention, I was in Atlanta, and Nkeng and the elder sister Julie, who also it's here and just came here about 2 years ago. We were all together, and when I look at those images, I have those thoughts. It's like a nightmare. I've really been unable to fathom what happened. And you can see that once Nkeng got here, within a very short while, she got her driver's license, which it really takes, some people with PhD would go multiple times, even just,
Hmm.
take the written test and pass. It's not easy. The road test is not easy, but she was fast and she got the license and was driving. She started driving just within a month or so, which is really um, astonishing. And then decided, since Patrick was there and the other family member, amendments, who it's there in Atlanta, and the pharmacist too, um, was they were trying to guide her to clear her path so that she can really be fast and take advantage of the opportunities in the United States, and asked her, recommended that she starts the CNA program, Certified Nursing Assistant program, as a way of moving faster. Yeah, because she really wanted to do nutrition.
Hmm.
She was excited about foods, how to make that, educate people more about food. So this was going to be a stepping stone to that. And she went, registered in this program, did the theory, and then was assigned to this site for clinical. This was her first day, um, at that, to go to that clinical location and start clinicals. And boom, she drove, went, parked her car, left the car, and was trying to cross to the other side to walk to the clinical side, and was hit by a car. Now, we as immigrants have to be very careful with police reports. And I want the public and the audience to know that the initial reports that were provided by the police, by the Cobb County Police, might not be accurate, because we have a law firm that has come in on
Hmm.
our behalf to handle an investigation, find out, just to make sure, this is not one of those stories that we hear, that of racism, and that of discrimination, where initial reports, law enforcement takes initial reports of one side, um, probably based on the race of who committed the crime,
Right.
and then put it out there and took it as a fact. But we have witness reports that speak to a different conclusion, that it's reporting something contrarily, very, very different to what was initially reported. So we're going to stay on this, and I'm glad you're here. Our community is going to be updated. And I want to tell the African community, the Cameroonian community, the Leban community, Gense community, the BLM community, we have a duty to uphold our rights, to fight for our rights, to make sure that we are not discriminated against, because there's a tendency in this country to believe that immigrants really have citizens, like they sometimes the legal system really doesn't care, right?
Yes, yes, and one thing too, even though we still have that responsibility, but at the same time, we also have a responsibility ourselves. I'm not saying particular to her case. She was actually going to work to clinical. Sometimes I'm just speaking this in general. Uh, when we have party like in the summertime, people will drink. They will drink and drive, maybe get drunk, a little bit tipsy. They will urinate on the sidewalk. We have party. They will park randomly, block people driveway. I mean, we've seen cases like that. That is kind of resident behavior that we really need to be cautious that this is a law-abiding country. We don't behave as we are back home or in Cameroon. Even though we're not saying we should behave as normal, there's every community has a norm on which people are supposed to behave.
I agree with you, because you see, this is also an opportunity for us to emphasize to our people that, um, as you said, generally, that this country presents great opportunities, and we need to be conscious of both the good, the bad, and the ugly in this country. So we've had quite a few cases of youth um, tragic deaths from intoxication as a result of alcohol. Um, and I don't want to call names, but they are,
Mhm.
some of these young people are very close to us, or their sisters and brothers are very close to us. So our community has suffered that. So it is important, and I'm glad you brought that up. That each time we have this opportunity, we educate our community, educate our young people, um, just generally, not related to this particular incident.
Yeah.
It's just a general advice,
Right. Okay.
emphasis. Yeah, that our young people need to. If you're drinking, please limit your drinking, because I will tell you, I go to events and I see how some young people drink. It bothers me. I'm a social drinker. I drink once in a, I'm not, I really used to just drink water, but I mean, I drink once in a while. But it really bothers me. You don't need to go above your limit, your threshold. And then there's also the law here. The law requires that if you're intoxicated to a certain level, you are committing a crime. So our young people have
Yeah.
to be aware. And
Yeah.
then the
I
second thing
mean,
I would say, if
I
I
mean, we'll not even. I mean, alcohol itself will not even go into the medical aspect of the liver, the effect of alcoholism, liver, the brain, and the rest. Terence,
but
now.
Doug, let me. There's another point which is important, which is phones, right?
Mhm.
Phones.
Yes,
There,
especially the earplug.
the, just generally answering phones, people being on the phone, and you see sometimes you see people walking in a very risky zone, crossing the road, and being distracted, right? Just generally,
Yeah,
or being in a community and you are distracted, you're on the phone, or going to an event, you're there on your phone, on social media, and sometimes you're not even paying attention to the event that you are where you are. So phone distraction is really, again, one thing we need to continue to educate our community,
yeah.
that people have to avoid walking, crossing traffic with phone, any distractions like phone, going to an event, being distracted, walking in a risky zone, being distracted. You must be aware of your environment, and be conscious, be alert, as
Yeah.
they say.
Terence, what about? I think there's a GoFundMe, so I just want to say to our audience, if you want to contribute to Nkenyi Comfort, so that the remains can be taken back home. And this for the parent to see before burial. Please, you can go to the GoFundMe, which is circulating online on different WhatsApp platform, and chip in something to support this family. Okay,
There's
Terence.
also Zelle. There's also Zelle and Cash App. There's a number on the circulars that are being sent out, which have the GoFundMe and the Zelle and the Cash App. So there are three options, and I want to, on behalf of the committee, that it's really organizing this. Thank everyone who has donated, who has contributed, and promise them that every dime that they've contributed will go towards making sure that the goal that was set, which is to help take comforts, uh, uh, remains to Cameroon, take her home to her parents and to her final resting place, that it's handled well, and we would give a full accounting to the family for every dime that comes in, so people can rest assured and be confident that comfort will go back home thanks to all their contributions, and we'll make sure that these funds are handled for the purpose for which it was raised. They were
Yes,
raised.
yes. Okay, yes, Terence. Okay, let's move on now. I see one of our guests is here, but I think she's having network issue, Mr. Matthews Monfort. Now, let's switch gear a little bit to the visit, the coming of Bishop Aloysius A. Fontem to Fontem. I think the trip he started in Menji, and Menji, St. Clair Parish. It was a stop there. He went over to Aziz at the Fontaines Parish. Yesterday, he was at Maryhead of Africa Hospital, visiting patient. He even offered mass there. And today, uh, he was again at St. Parish, where there was a Thanksgiving mass. Who has some footages. The crowd was huge. Uh, Terence, yeah, the bishop started this visit actually here in Maryland, here in the U.S. The pastoral tour, I'll call it that way. And his message has been preaching peace and unity. He's preaching peace and unity. How would this message resonate to our people where we seem to be, especially Bang people where they seem to be, not all of the Bang, the BLM, we seem to be polarized, maybe due to different political views, different ideology from different spectrum. Uh, the community seems to be in different fraction, because this one doesn't see what you are doing, then you see, it's kind of antagonized, but the bishop is actually saying, we need to be united, we need to be together. How do you think people would perceive this message? Would people actually say, okay, let's keep our political ideology aside and come together the way the bishop is preaching?
Yes, the short answer it's yes. I think people would. I think the bishop's message, and to a larger extent, the message that Lekudu USA and the different Lekudus, but most importantly, the fund has been preaching. I think it's in line that of unity, love, and peace. Because, and when we mean peace, we don't mean that people should not be passionate about what they believe in, but we mean that anything that you believe in, you can do it in a way that conveys, that keeps seeks to unite, right? And that seeks to project love on your people. So this is not sometimes, and I really, it's something I really want to emphasize, because people like us, we continue to be victimized because some people on one side of the political spectrum feel like I should have adopted their mantra. But as I have said when I was CEO of Likudu, that when you're an organization that has to englobe everybody, has to seek unity, has to seek love and promote peace. And I think the bishop's message is timely. If you can look at how much despair and disunity that we've had. First of all, the fundamentalism thing. There's a certain nonsense, allow me to say it, which is this fundomism. Because people belong to different fandoms. The fandoms people just kind of fight. They fight for no good reason, and people forget to know that we are all people of the BLM. Dr. Kumba, can you imagine how many of your relatives are married in other fandoms? How many of your friends, some of them your best friends, come from other fandoms? What is
Yeah.
all this fighting that we, the common man, we allow political beings to divide us? What is it? And even when it comes to the war, what is all this division where people prefer to kill the place where they were born and grow up just to make a point politically? I mean, you can
Yeah.
advocate for your this thing in a way that promotes unity and still understand that at the end of the day we owe to our people the development gains that our forebears, our grandparents and parents fought hard to bring. And I think the bishop really is saying, when you have a crisis, there are different steps of the crisis. Initially it was kind of humanitarian, and then you have rehabilitation, and then you start having reconciliation. You need to begin to bring people together because the crisis itself has created a lot of disunity, even within families. You had people just fighting, and you had some people who have lost their life only because when they disagree with someone, they will go and label them as a traitor, right? A big
Mhm.
traitor.
Yes, blacklegs. We hear of
A
blacklegs
black
all the
leg.
time.
And
Yeah.
people lost their lives like that. You see, like for example, recently I have a young guy putting out an audio saying, "Oh, Terence has done this, Terence has done this," and you sit there and you ask and say, and he has sponsors, he has people who are actually directing him. Some of them, my family members, my uncles from the Azi Palace, right? And I hear that. I mean, I have as I tell
Hmm.
people, I am a cybersecurity expert, and there is information that I have that, you know, these individuals and I hear conversations that they're having with people and actually giving directives for to blackmail me. But you see, as I said, when you're a big boy, you need to know that my grandmother,
No.
Oda Asaba, used to tell me, Oda Asaba used to tell me, I go to Ega. Um, o obukaditya nchu ene nwo ebo oze o sugar oga nchu ene nwo diti ji
Yeah.
embo songo mo twi ngu obo nanku nozo gunno mbangozo ndeng temandam. Do good and look up to God, because there are people in our community, and it's very fun, typical of Leban. There are
Yes,
so many
and
people in our community where
no,
when
no,
you are doing
but I just think that sometimes we are just too
good, you
much.
don't go where they ask you, who are you?
Mm.
Alan Buffer after Chikie, you start hearing them turning it to, that this boy wants to show what? Alan Bumbukie, who is he? What does he want to show? And they start blackmailing you. They say, there are people who just don't like good things. They're
Yeah,
just enemy
so
to
long
progress,
as it's not
you know?
benefiting them, they will crucify you. They will
Yeah,
find all means to the, I mean, to humiliate you in public,
yeah,
to do all kind of stuff to intimidate, whatever. But I mean, talking about the bishop coming, the Catholic Church in general, I think the Catholic has been very instrumental in the development of many communities. Look at in terms of education, most Catholic school that we know today, most of our elderly folks today, they went through all this we call the mission school or Kali school. Yeah, of Kali school, Kali school Bindia, Kali school, Kali school Minji, right? Before many government school came in, they were all Kali schools, and these were schools that were run by the Kali. I mean, this same Kali. That sometime when the bishop is kind of late, I know some people have said, what is he coming to do? Now, with time for war, is it what he should be coming? If none of this, then, people are giving different view. But they seem to be short-sighted. Think of it. When you look at Azzi Parish, the church at Injet, that is my own parish. I mean, where the area, the place is desert. I had an interview. You were not here last week when I called Father John Etta. He spoke to me live. and was explaining how even our own people, when they go to the village, because they have abandoned their houses, maybe because the houses is uninhabitable, they will come to the sanctuary, to the father's house to take shelter. I mean, I was listening to him like, this is the level, but these are the people that at the same time, when we turn around, want to say, oh, let's support the country, people begin to disparage them. But these are people that they are in our own community. I'll give you another example. In terms of leadership, these reverend priests are now our community leaders. Because if you look at our community leaders, even the chiefs, nobody, no, most of the villages or the quarter, nobody is at home. Then the few people that are at home, if there's any conflict, where do they go? They all go to the father to ask for counseling. The father will be the one to be advising them. Like somebody said categorically, most of the parishes are empty. Our own mayor is not resident where they're supposed to be. The workers are not where they're supposed to be. They are now doing remote whatever they are doing. So you see, the community is left, everybody is left to their own. Everybody begin to figure out who is the leader, who is taking care of what, who is the captain.
Yes, so I am glad you raised that. And first, great appreciations to both the parish priest of Azee and the parish priest of Menji, who've done wonderfully. And I'm not just talking about the home visit, the homecoming of the bishop. Not just that. These two priests have really done something that we really have been fighting for, which is to sacrifice their lives in a risky zone, and go to where even our own Bang. Remember, these are not Lebang people, right?
I
These
know,
are not Lebang.
I
They are not
know,
from Azee, they are not from Menji, they are not from Jay,
no,
they are not from Jense. They are from other
that's where,
villages
yeah,
elsewhere. And for example, for the child goes to a Z church and lives there. There's nobody in a Z in actual fact, but he's there in jail, living.
hmm,
Can you ask yourself? I mean, think about it. And then you have Father Theophile, who went up to Menji, um, and started living there and brought and brought back the the parishioners.
hmm,
So, and then there's the other aspect, as you said, that of spiritual and
yeah,
psychological stability. People need to know that during this time, there has been a lot of trauma. People have, if I tell you stories, you have marriages that are breaking because the the man, the husband, it's in the village, and the wife, it's an IDP somewhere with the children, and there are all these allegations, and then the wife comes to visit, and there are all these allegations. So the priests are doing far more than people can see, right? There are a lot of services that these priests are rendering. A lot of social services, a
hmm,
lot of counseling. And trust me, there is no price you can put on counseling. Keeping families together.
yeah,
Any development we're doing starts with keeping families together. And then the last thing I would say about this is, uh, for the Dr. Kumber, that as you know, we engaged in the process of the bishop's homecoming when I was CEO about 3 years ago. And we've been going back and forth with the bishop, trying to see how we can make this happen. The environment was not, the bishop was not convinced that it was the right time for the past 2 years, and gave us some expectations, what needs to be in place for him to come. And one of it was really having Menji Church, running. So we had to negotiate to make sure the priest goes to Menji and start working. And And then you see at Z2, the priest left the Mariupol Center and went to Azi. All these priests used to be at the Mariupol Center.
Center.
You know, the bishop could not go there when the parishes are not operational. So you can see. So there's been a lot of behind the scenes that we've been working very, very hard to make sure that the necessary environment, of course, that of safety too, that things are okay for the bishop to come, that everybody is united in that purpose for love and unity. And that is how you see things happening. There's a lot behind the scenes. The Father
Yeah.
Teofi actually put me to coordinate the process for Fontem, for Menji Parish. And I said, no, I would do it in a different way. We have the President General, we have the CEO of Lekudu. They have been really, really working hard to make sure that things go well. And we have been part of the team making sure this is, and it's historic. I mean, I have been the happiest person because I really, really insisted. I really wanted to make sure that the reopening of Sidoism, the bishop's home visit happens before I leave office. And I'm glad that these plans now are complete. And I think I'm going to have my time to say, because since the convention ended, I haven't really spoken to the bank people. There's a report also that I'm putting together for the teamwork, everything that we did. And when people look at that, it will be amazing. People will see how Likudu USA, just between last year and this year, we injected close to 180 million in, in Fontem in the bank, to get schools going, help with solar, help with different projects, basic amenities. And it's really been fulfilling. And we thank the bank people for everything, and we continue to improve the situation on the ground.
Yeah, and also I just also want to at least acknowledge the parishioner from Azi, the hard work
Right.
that they did in the renovation of the church
Exceptional.
and the bishop house. I mean, if you look at the image now, I
Yeah.
think I did a short report on how things were like, say, 2 years ago,
Hmm.
or like just a few months ago. You see a total transformation,
Yeah.
and Father John that is there is very hardworking. You see him whipping the grass around,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think I mean,
Exceptionally. Let,
yeah,
let us let us support our church. As you said, you see, the church is an arm of development, because if people are not united, they are not peaceful, they don't have an inner peace, there's no development that can happen. And also, even their health. Spirituality, it's a component of health, right? Good health.
yeah.
So we need to understand that you look at Kali School in JA. So many of our parents went to Kali School in JA. That was the only thing that was available. People need to remember that the folklore is a congregation of the Kali Church,
Yes.
and they brought development to the BLM. So this is a Kali Church. We are what we are today, thanks to the church.
That's why and that's why I keep insisting that even when you see what is going on now, it's still the Catholic that is. I mean, look at
Yeah,
in terms of their education.
yeah.
I mean, I don't even want to talk about. It is like the Azid parish, right? The market at Azid is not even functioning. First, there's nobody there. It is only on Sunday where people now gather to even socialize.
Thank
I
you.
mean, like say, let's meet and greet each other. You see, you feel another human interaction. It is only true. It is only through this church. So, which I really think that there are some elite from that parish in the upper Lebanon that have really stepped up and supported. I would not want to be calling their names here, but I think they have really worked hard to
Yeah, yeah.
push.
But I think it's important. Somebody like Martin Tazi has been phenomenal. Mark Combin, before John. Um, there are so many people
You
who
know,
have
yeah, just
really put
I
their
think
heart and soul
there are many
into,
of them. That's why I cannot even.
yeah,
There are many of them
yeah. We
because
can
someone
just
like
call the
Pat
name. The
Charles.
list, when you look at the
I
fundraising
mean, yeah,
list,
the list is
it's a
long.
long
But
list.
Pat Charles, I mean, who used to be
Exactly.
the chairman of the parish of that parish,
Hmm.
yeah, who is now in the US, but he's still very active. He's the
Yeah.
one who coordinate people here from the US to actually begin to contribute money. He's
And
the
for
one
Menji,
that.
you have Mbenda, right? And for
Mhm.
Menji, you have the larger metropolitan group, which is Mbenda, which has really been awesome. We have a young guy there, who is called John. and his team, they are all youths. We kind of ceded ground to them that the young people should take over, and we from behind we guiding them, and they are doing awesome. If you look at, they are weeping trying to raise money, and the disadvantage we have for Menji, for the Fontem, the St. Clair Parish Menji, is that you really do not have elites because most people are settlers, and Menji is more of cosmopolitan. When the war started, most of those who were from outside came and settled in Menji because of the city-like nature of Menji. They left. So the few of us who are the autochtone, we are just few, and it's a younger generation. We don't have the elites like the Azi parishers. So my plea would be that you know, everybody who is an elite of the bank of the BLM would come also to rescue of the Menji St. Clair Church, which is a mother church for the BLM as we speak. And we know that what that structure looks like, right? We need to renovate the structure. The father's house, it's still, no renovation. There's a lot of work that is needed. And it's a bigger parish. It's a bigger church. So it needs more money. So this is just an appeal that will be coming to the community for support.
Yes, dear viewer, let's all take a break so that when we come back, we'll be looking at the Fun of Fountain message. He spoke yesterday and today, so that we'll play a clip, then we'll actually digest it and dissect it and really see some of the things that we have really been trying to echo on this platform. Please do not go away, as we will be right back in a moment. Thank you.
Chong wali alandia, ambega kung fwa Alexander.